Hoje, no Conexão UFC, Sean Woodson fala sobre perdas, vitórias e o apoio inabalável de sua mãe. Miesha Tate relembra a performance que lhe garantiu o cinturão peso-galo no UFC 196. E vamos examinar de pertinho a criação e o design das novas luvas do UFC. Olá, seja bem-vindo ao Conexão UFC. O peso-pena Shawn Woodson tem um relacionamento muito forte com a mãe e essa relação se intensificou ainda mais após a morte do pai, quando ele tinha apenas 13 anos. Foi graças ao apoio e incentivo materno que o Shawn conseguiu passar pela adolescência e ingressar nos esportes de combate. Mas um escândalo quase colocou tudo a perder, inclusive o sonho dele de lutar no UFC. Vamos saber mais sobre a história de Shawn Woodson nessa edição de Foco de Lutador.
Here is the sniper out of St. Louis, Missouri, Shawn Woodson. Tremendous story for Woodson. His mom found Matt Hughes' hit squads after high school, and that laid the foundation for what is a now budding MMA career for Shawn the Sniper Woodson.
Come on, Shawnee boy.
My mom has supported me and helped me my entire life. She sacrificed so much for me to make my dreams come true and get to the UFC.
Here we go, baby.
Woodson's got some real good hands. Everything's tight.
If he gets his way on the feet, he's beautiful to watch.
That's it.
I feel like it's because of my mom that I'm able to do this.
Come on, babe.
Once I started putting those wins together, my confidence was growing. I felt unstoppable.
Shawn Woodson has a ton of momentum, possibly a future contender.
Then one day, there was a knock at the door, and it was the FBI, and they were here to arrest my mom. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. Growing up, I feel like I had the best parents in the world. I had a great childhood. Me and my dad were super close. At an early age, I found fighting and got into boxing through him.
Boxing was just a big part of our lives. There wasn't a night that Shawn and his father didn't go back in our bedroom and have a whole bout on the bed. And then one day he had come to me and he had said, "Mama, I want to take boxing lessons."
That following week, she took me to the boxing gym, and I never looked back. I lost my dad at an early age. I made a lot of promises to my dad when he was in a coma. I would just sit next to his bed, and the main thing I would tell him was that I was gonna do everything in my power to follow my dreams, fighting to make him proud. Once my dad passed away, me and my mom's bond got stronger. I was fighting every weekend. My amateur record was 46-3. I had planned on turning pro when I was 16 years old. Boxing was looking like that was gonna be my career. But I got into a bad car accident. Me and my friends were skipping school. We were driving on the highway. This big 18-wheeler cut across the entire highway, so there was nowhere to go. I slammed on my brakes and turned the car sideways, and we ended up going under the 18-wheeler, came out on the other side, crashed into this brick wall. It was a pretty serious accident. Me and my friends were super blessed to make it out alive, actually.
After that, he had such a fear of the highway, he wouldn't drive anymore.
I knew I didn't want to stop fighting, but that car accident prevented me from going to my boxing gym. I was en route to having a real prosperous boxing career, and my mom, she didn't want me to stop chasing my dreams.
The car accident is what led to us finding MMA. I knew that there was no plan B for Shawn. So I went online. I just Googled boxing gyms.
My mom found Hit Squad in Granite City, which wasn't too far away. It was ran by Matt Hughes and Robbie Lawler at the time. And they had dorm rooms there. It was the only place where I could still chase the dream and not have to commute on the highway back and forth. It wasn't boxing, but it was still fighting. Because of how much my mom was hyping me up to these people, they were like, we want to see what this kid's got. It was exciting, and I knew right then and there I wanted to be a part of it.
So I boarded him.
I knew this is what I wanted to do with my life, so I knew I couldn't play with it. The goal for me from the jump was to be the best in the world. Once I set my sights on MMA, it was UFC world champion or nothing. I locked in on a whole nother level, got very serious with it. Nothing on this earth compares to putting in the work.
He is just absolutely unstoppable.
I got to 5-0 on the regional scene, and then that's when I got my shot at Contender Series.
Shawn Woodson, on short notice, no less, takes on a highly touted prospect at 5-0 tonight to go 6-0. Shawn Woodson could be on the sport's biggest stage by night's end.
I just had all the confidence in the world that this was my moment. I knew that I would find a way to win.
A nice sprawl, but McKinney ducks around it, and again, he has the back.
This is the thing about anybody who transitions from boxing or kickboxing. You've got to fill in the gaps with grappling. And as we saw here now, where McKinney, oh, that knocked him out, that's it, it's over.
I landed the flying knee and changed my life right then and there.
Look at the emotion of this guy, just everything that he just realizes that he just did right now out of nowhere.
Took this thing on 5 days' notice, overcame adversity today, did what he needed to do to win, finished the fight. I'm bringing him into the UFC.
Unbelievable, Shawn Woodson.
I was so excited. I said, Shawn, do you know how many thousands and thousands of young kids have a dream to be a professional athlete? But you've made it.
Shawn the Sniper Woodson, outstanding striker, and we will see how it goes for him in the UFC debut tonight.
I made my debut in Boston. That was my first time fighting in front of a huge crowd.
Shawn Woodson trying to win this UFC debut in hostile territory. All Shawn Woodson here in Boston. Hard to do it much better than that in the UFC debut. We'll see if the judges agree.
For the winner by unanimous decision, Shawn the Sniper Woodson.
Started putting some wins together.
He's so precise with his shots. He mixes things up beautifully.
I was like, man, I can really do something in the sport. I can really go all the way. One night I'd come home from training, and I could tell by the look on my mom's face that something was wrong.
I was a city clerk for 13 years. As a city clerk, you are responsible for the administration part of the city. So my name was on every account.
She had a gambling addiction and had been taking money from work. I pretty much had to use most of the money I had made as a UFC fighter for a lawyer for my mom. Eventually, my mom was convicted of embezzling $500,000. Her sentence was 18 months.
They could have brought me in at any time, and I had to go down and turn myself in the day before his fight with Saldana. The first round, he got knocked down.
Oh, he's hurt bad.
I've never even seen Shawn get knocked down. Oh my God, I was devastated because I knew I was the cause of that.
Mentally, I was not there in that fight at all.
Saldana is winning these exchanges. He has got Woodson in a ton of trouble.
Even though we fought to a draw, that was the worst performance of my life. If you have things that are going on in your outside life, that'll definitely impact the way you perform in the gym.
During that time, he was not the same chipper guy in here. It almost seemed like he didn't really want to be here. His mind was somewhere else.
If your life ain't right outside of the cage, you won't be able to perform inside of the cage. I refuse to let my mom's situation impact next fight. I knew she was gonna be able to watch my fight in prison, and I couldn't let myself have another bad performance and let her feel like that was her fault again.
Shawn Woodson making the walk for his 6th UFC appearance, but first since last August.
Sure, he slipped last time against Saldana, but he has put on some tremendous performances. Let's go!
That was a ton of pressure.
Woodson said going into his last fight that he was focused on the wrong things. His focus and his intention is clear tonight.
Ooh!
And he gets it done in all phases of mixed martial arts.
Shawn, the Sniper Woodson!
Mama, I told you I got this. You raised a warrior, Mama. I won my fight, you win yours. When you come home, we're gonna live it up. I love you, stay strong.
After that bazooka fight, my mom was granted house arrest. House arrest is pretty strict. She can't go on the front porch. She can't go outside in the backyard. I do have to do quite a bit for her, but she supported me for so long that I don't mind repaying the favor at all. I'd take having her home on house arrest than being in prison any day.
Mama. Hey, babe, how are you?
Back with the groceries. You eat today?
I did. I had some oranges.
Stay on it. When you get off that ankle monitor at house arrest, I'm gonna have you walking the block. Have you getting your steps in.
You're starting to think you're the boss of me.
Yeah, I run things now.
You do?
Gotta keep you under control.
Yeah.
Keep you on your best behavior.
Well, I spent enough years trying to keep you on yours.
It worked out.
Mm-hmm. It did work out.
My next fight would be the first fight with my mom's drama being behind us. I've always had the utmost confidence in myself and believed that I would be here. The goal is to be the UFC world champion. My mom, she sacrificed for me and did everything she could to make me live a good life.
You know, you raise your child and you want them to be happy, but that they live their dream, that they've accomplished their dream. That's as good as a mama wants it.
This whole series of events definitely made me and my mom's bond stronger. A happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. As long as I know my mom's happy.
I love you, babe.
In a couple hours. That makes me happy.
A veterana Miesha Tate estreou no UFC em 2013 como ex-campeã do Strikeforce e de olho no cinturão do peso-galo. Desde a estreia no MMA profissional, em 2007, Miesha se consolidou como uma das melhores lutadoras do planeta. Ela acabou batendo na trave em sua primeira chance ao título contra a arquirrival Ronda Rousey, mas perseverou e conquistou uma nova oportunidade no UFC 196 contra Holly Holm. A americana, que tem o apelido de Cupcake, conta a história do seu dia de glória, hoje em Meu Momento.
Please welcome Miesha Tate.
Being a champion is something that every fighter strives for, but very few accomplish.
She won a one-night tournament to earn a title shot. Oh, nice takedown as she caught the kick. Arm triangle choke. Coonan has never been submitted. Wow, what a performance! And she takes the Strikeforce Women's Bantamweight Championship.
Coming from being a Strikeforce Women's Bantamweight champion, when I got to the UFC, of course, I had my goal set on becoming a champion there as well.
So the question is, has Miesha evolved enough to become a UFC champion?
I got my first shot at the UFC title against Ronda Rousey.
Are you ready? Let's go, come on! Title on the line, the champions, the challenger. Here we go.
Good shots to the head by Ronda. And Miesha's got Ronda down. Ronda's slowly spinning her around. She's in trouble. She's in.
No,
She taps. She taps.
Getting that first title shot in the UFC and coming up short really hurt. But it reset me in a way that motivated me. Just because I fell off the horse doesn't mean that I am not going to try to get back up on that horse and continue with the mission as planned. The dream hadn't died yet.
Miesha Tate, the former Strikeforce champion.
I went on a 4-fight win streak and became the #1 contender.
Right now, we're seeing a very improved Miesha Tate.
Her striking looks very, very crisp.
Holly Holm had just become the world champion by head-kicking Ronda Rousey to win in UFC Australia, and it was quite a moment.
Wow! Unbelievable!
Everybody was very high on Holly Holm. I thought Holly was a very dangerous opponent. She has great boxing and great footwork, really hard to get a hold of, and obviously the very devastating head kick. So I knew that I had to be calculated, but I also had to be willing to take the risk.
Once again, we are live from Las Vegas, inside the MGM Grand Garden Arena. We welcome you to UFC 196. Who pulled off the biggest upset in MMA last year? Holly Holm. She beat Ronda Rousey. Now she looks to defend against Miesha Tate.
When I was getting ready for the fight against Holly Holm, I remember looking at myself in the mirror and saying to myself, this is the last time you will look at yourself and not have a belt around your waist. You will come back the world champion. I remember feeling like this was my moment. This is the one I was gonna win.
Miesha Tate getting her second shot at UFC Gold.
The walk for a world title fight always feels bigger. There's just so much on the line. Knowing that it's for the ultimate goal and the ultimate dream. Being the world champion.
Here we go!
The first round, the game plan was to press the action, but not get kicked in the head. Don't risk too much. Feel it out and kind of find the right opening, but I did not end up getting a takedown in the round, so she walked away with that round.
Miesha looks to come out aggressively here in round 2.
She's ramping it up here.
The second round, I got a takedown pretty early on and was able to really dominate. I remember throwing big elbows, getting onto her back at one point, almost sinking a choke.
Miesha Tate trying to finish. Can she get it?
Wow, what a round for Miesha Tate.
We got ourselves a fight.
You know you can take her down now.
Nice big deep breath.
You just ran. I never felt that fight ever.
Breathe. Breathe.
After round 2, that absolutely confirmed my path to success was to get her to the ground.
It was a big, big round for Miesha Tate. How much did that drain Holly?
Holly made some great adjustments in round 3.
Both fighters being kind of cautious. Miesha's fighting nice and cautious here.
Absolutely.
But there it is. There's the clinch.
Stop that time. Holly does not want to fight on the canvas again with Miesha.
There's a shot. Stuffed. 2 stuffed so far. Wow. Very interesting fight.
After round 3, I think it was anybody's fight. I remember in round 4, I wanted to take Holly Holm down, but it was a struggle, and we really kind of ended up trading a lot of blows on the feet. When a fighter doesn't bite on your feints, it's so difficult, and Holly wasn't taking me serious in round 4. I certainly thought that I was down on the scorecards going into round 5. Game plan A of calculated but cautious had to go out the window.
Gotta win the round and win the fight. Hey, go for it. It's time to go. Let's do this, Miesha. This is the round.
The start of round 5, Holly came out hot, and it was really what I needed. Holly started to commit with her striking and really come forward.
We gotta get in under that punch. You're gonna have to shoot on that.
I slipped right underneath the punches and kind of threw myself around the back to get her down.
There it is. There it is. Oh, this is a dogfight. Miesha's got her back.
Miesha looking to choke her out. Wow.
She's got her back.
Still has it.
She's got it. She's tapping.
It is all over. Miesha Tate is the new UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion.
It was just an incredible moment. So many years of hard work, and those emotions that come out in that moment are so real and so raw and so unedited. imagined that moment so many times, getting the belt wrapped around my waist and the feeling of elation. But in truth, there's only one moment in time that you can experience what that really feels like. That moment was incredible, and I will never forget it. I'm Miesha Tate, and that was my moment.
Desde a implementação das regras unificadas do MMA até o lançamento do Instituto de Performance do UFC, a organização tem se comprometido a elevar o esporte ao mais alto patamar. Hoje, o UFC também é sinônimo de avanço tecnológico e a conquista mais recente do maior evento de MMA do mundo é a reformulação das luvas de combate. Por isso, conversamos com a equipe de criadores dessas luvas para saber como o novo design vai revolucionar o esporte, e você confere agora no Por Dentro do UFC.
The UFC has always made it a point to be first and be at the forefront of things, then on top of technology. Things have changed, so mouth guards have improved, fight shorts have improved, but the glove is the one thing that has been stagnant for a while. There's a pretty interesting history with the glove, and it actually goes back to UFC 1 and Art Jemerson when he walked in with a singlet boxing glove.
That glove is really working against Art because he can't grab.
When UFC started, gloves were optional.
There they go. Look at that.
Ken looks totally in control, feeling very confident right now.
Melton Bowen was the first person to feature what we now recognize as the modern-day MMA fingerless glove at UFC 4.
The only thing he's done different from former boxers is that he's wearing gloves that allows him to grab.
The gloves became mandatory at UFC 14 in 1997.
The question will be is what kind of treatment is that?
Kerr in a side mount.
Owano was the first official glove. Technology at the time was very different. For the Owano gloves, thick stitching, thinner leather, thinner padding, poor quality seams. And then that evolved into the glove design that we have now. Diaco and Century made those gloves. That's been around for well over 10 years. Technology has advanced. So looking at the glove, we were looking at everything from the standpoint of where are we and where do we want to be? So can we reduce eye pokes? Can we reduce hand breaks? Can we reduce lacerations and cuts? Make it more comfortable for the athlete? So there was a set of goals going into this glove redesign. When we started looking for partners, we wanted someone who was not going to be buried in their preconceived notions of what the glove should be, but would look at it with an open mind and say, what are the science and data telling us? What is the engineering offer to the glove? We knew we needed to find the right company to work with us on this project, and we ended up selecting Vices.
Vices is a company that was founded basically to make a difference in football by really looking at out-of-the-box thinking on how we could better protect head injuries. This team in Seattle is focused on impact mitigation for football helmets and shoulder pads, and now actually even into baseball protection. UFC came to us with an approach of really looking at a glove really at a start-over point. Not trying to evolve the glove they have, but really looking at what would be the best glove for their sport and how we could improve it. The current glove that they were using, basically just a chunk of foam, a solid piece, wasn't really developed as a impact mitigation type of foam. It was just more or less a certain density that seemed to work well for fighting. The limitation there is, one, how in which it absorbs impact, but also its rigidity. And that was one of probably the major parts of the glove, was that rigidity wouldn't allow you to easily open and close your hand, and therefore you could have eye pokes or other just difficulty during fighting. So what we developed was a multi-layer slip plane system that allowed us to continue to mitigate those impacts, but allow those slip layers to slide on each other in use without ever minimizing the actual offset between your hand and the outer edge of the glove.
It's a back and forth process with them to get even to a first sample. So does this technically work? Does this pass testing? What kind of foam do you put in the foam stack and why? And so that back and forth went on for quite a while. It wasn't until we got a first sample that then we started looking at it on hands.
We wanted to be able to test the glove in reasonable velocities and forces that it's actually experienced in a fight.
I can bend my fists wonderfully, and being able to close properly means that I can get my grapple.
They're so comfortable, really. I mean, compared to the other gloves, one of the biggest differences is like they already feel rounded. Like the other gloves felt a bit stiff.
We actually went to the UFC, worked with fighters, actually had them impact load cells and high pressure systems to basically bring that back to our lab and correlate that here. Once we felt like we had passed the laboratory test that we wanted to pass, we had passed the feedback that we had gotten from the actual UFC team.
That's a lot better than being stretched out.
We were now able to actually put together samples with the factory that could actually be used in a real fight.
We were comfortable that we had a glove that functioned, fit, and did what we wanted to do. We then moved into testing with Contender Series.
This is the world's most exciting job interview. It is Dana White's Contender Series.
We used 10 weeks of Contender Series to have all athletes fight in the glove. They gave feedback post-fight. Overall, coaches, athletes all had great things to say, so that we were able to then use that to make any final refinements to the glove. The final product is something that we're extremely excited about. It is a glove that is really going to revolutionize the MMA fight glove space. Some of the changes you're going to see on the new glove are there are 0 seams around the hand. All of the seams are on the inside, so there's no place for a laceration to occur from a seam. The padding in the back of the hand has been broken into 2, and essentially the first pad and that break allow for the hand to have this movement, while the new layering technology and the main pad allows for the hands to move and be flexible. The layering system inside, foams are different foams. They allow for impact dispersion so that you're not getting as much impact in a singular spot on the knuckle. So you're seeing more distribution of the strike across the hand. There's pads that are on the bone on the outside of either side of the hand. The new wristband is a curved ergonomic wristband, so it actually cinches down to the wrist. There's no more room to put your hand down in the actual glove. And then it's a cross-function cinch, so it also allows for that tight custom fit to be exactly how the fighter wants around their wrist and provides some wrist support. The finger holes used to be cut straight across the finger. We've now cut that down at an angle so that there's no bulk under the finger, which is allowing you to close your hands and not fight against the leather in the hand. Cool feature of the new glove is that the primary glove has gone from black to gunmetal metallic color, and then we have broken that out into multiple colors depending on what we're using it for. The gunmetal, that is the primary that will be in the octagon for all fights except for championship rounds. And in championship rounds, there's a brand new gold glove. That gold glove has a slight octagon pattern in it, and so elevated and premium for the championship rounds. There's also a tough glove, a Dana White Contender Series glove, and then a red glove for things like Road to UFC. What we wanted to do with this was create a journey for the athlete. So you might start in the red glove, you might start in the Contender Series glove, but until you make it to the UFC, you're not wearing the UFC glove. As subtle as it may seem to some, there is a lot that has changed in this glove to improve it for the athletes and make it more comfortable function for them. So really, really excited about this.
Por hoje é só. Espero que você tenha gostado do nosso episódio. Compartilhe a sua opinião nas redes sociais usando a hashtag Conexão UFC. Até a próxima!